Hey there, if you're new to our channel, be sure that you subscribe so you can get updates and notifications when we upload any videos to Getting Real in True Crime. And today's story, I want to share with you the story of Aaliyah. Well-known music artist, died at a young age of 22. And we're going to get into some of the things that are surrounding this story. I want to help debunk some of the conspiracy theories going on out there and share with you some of the more true facts. This request for such a story has come up, and I thought, you know what? I'll go ahead and do a story on Aaliyah's death. She was a famous artist. She was well on her way. She just completed her first movie, Romeo Must Die, with Jet Li. And so she had the whole future ahead of herself. A lot of great things with a little baggage surrounding some of the things that has happened in her life. And we'll get into that as well as part of the conspiracy theory. So what really happened to Aaliyah? Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back, my friends. I want to share with you the story of what really happened to Aaliyah. Aaliyah was well on her way. She already had recorded some songs, was making a lot of noise in the music industry, and her life was cut short at the age of 22. And so that's exactly what I want to get into, is what really happened to the famous singer Aaliyah. And it is a tragic story, to say the least, because from what I have gathered, it could have been avoided. Okay, so let's get into it. On August of 25th is when the accident occurred. But what led to the accident? What was going on that made her be out there? Okay, real name Aaliyah Dana Houghton. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she only is well known as Aaliyah. August 25th of 2001, she died in a plane crash. And from what I gather, like I said, this could have been avoided. August 25th of 2001, she is in a Cessna 402 twin engine. It's a light aircraft, and it crashed shortly after takeoff. And they were in what was then called Marsh Harbor Airport. It has since changed names, and they were in the Bahamas on the Abaco Islands or something like that. And it killed the pilot, and it killed all 8 passengers on board. Almost all of them died instantly, with the exception of one who would go on to later die from their injuries. And so on this plane is Aaliyah, and with her entourage, as they would say. You know, you had her hairdresser, you had her bodyguard, you had the record producers, executives that, you know, they had just finished filming a video. And here's the thing, they finished a day early. Okay, they were scheduled to finish the day a day later on the 26th, and they had it scheduled to have the planes come pick them up, the same ones that took them to the Bahamas. But they're done early, so they're thinking, let's get back home. Unfortunately, they didn't make it back home. Following the investigation, they determined that the aircraft was a little too heavy, had way too much stuff on it. And then the 8 passengers alone, generally these type of planes, they can hold 6 to 10 people, probably depending on how much luggage you have. In this case, there was 8 passengers, which exceeded the maximum of 7 with this particular one. Now, what also would come to light during the investigation is that the pilot did not have the proper qualifications to fly the aircraft. They falsified the proper documents needed. The pilot falsified it in order to obtain the person's pilot license, and I'll get into it in a second. They're filming this video. There's about 60 people on the island filming the video together. Everyone has a role, right? And so they got done a little early, and so they're ready to go. From what I gather, from what I've learned, is okay. So Luis Morales III is the pilot. Luis Morales III. He's been flying since he was like 14 years old. So he knows how to fly a plane, but he didn't have all the credentials that said you can fly this plane. Somehow or another, he was able to get the proper credentials to show and get a job with Black Hawk, which Black Hawk would obviously be under some serious scrutiny for that, right? But before we get deeper into this, I want to share with you some of the conspiracy theories that were surrounding Aaliyah and this story, okay? And this is where I want to break this down, because, you know, for some people, conspiracy theories are fun, right? I'm not a big fan of it, but sometimes we found in the past that some conspiracy theories have known to be true. Okay, you can Google it, you'll find it yourself. But there were a few different conspiracy theories that have come about that were simply not true. And so one of these conspiracy theories is Illuminati murdered Aaliyah. Now, Illuminati is not a person. Okay, it's weird on how this works. If you look at the dollar bill, you can see this little, eyeball and stuff that's considered Illuminati, with the eye and the triangle. And so this is not a person, so this Illuminati is not a person. But they're saying that Illuminati affects the music industry, and it has been around for a long time. You can even hear people talk about it in their songs, okay? In some of these songs, they talk about Illuminati. And the thing with the Illuminati is it was more of a, we want to control you. We want the power. And again, not a person. It's more, people making stuff up, and there's no truth behind this. So how in the world do people actually believe this one? I have no clue. So that's one of the conspiracy theories. Another one was that R. Kelly wanted to silence Aaliyah. Now, I could see why some people would believe this, okay? R. Kelly had a government employee. He paid a government employee to falsify an ID for Aaliyah so that he can marry this 15-year-old. He's like 26 at the time or something like that. Whatever. That's just crazy on its own. As you know, R. Kelly's in jail right now because he likes underage girls, I guess. But that's literally a conspiracy theory as to what is going, they think that he had this occur because he wanted to silence Aaliyah because she knew the truth behind him. Number one, she would be underage, right? So she met him when she was 12 years old, and he saw the talent in her, obviously. Why would he ever want to marry a 15-year-old? I don't know. But another conspiracy theory is R. Kelly wanted to silence Aaliyah so he had something happen. I'm not buying that one either. The third one that's come up is that Aaliyah died to promote her film. Again, she just done Romeo Must Die. Now, and here's my thought process why people are requesting this more backstory around the death of Aaliyah. Okay, number one, people like conspiracy theories. Okay, so people are gonna think up stuff. It happens all the time. Happens all the time, all the time, all the time. But Aaliyah dying at 22 to promote her film, I just wonder how people actually buy into this stuff sometimes. Seriously. The girl was on her way to big stuff. Why would that even be on the table? So, personally, I'm not buying it. You should not buy it either. And this is where you really stop and you think about what it is that's going on, okay? So the bottom line here is she was going to film her video for her song, Rock the Boat. That's why she was over in the Bahamas filming the video for the song. Okay, so she's over there filming. They're done a little early. Now, Luis Morales, the pilot who should not even have been flying, okay, through investigation, they found that he did not have the proper documents. He had traces of cocaine. He had just been in jail a couple weeks earlier because of getting pulled over, running a red stop sign, getting pulled over, and finding that he had cocaine on him. So obviously cocaine might have been a little problem. They found traces of it in his system. Whether he did it that day, I don't know how long this stuff stays in your system, but whether he did it that day or not. Now, here is one thing that Luis did share, and there was a big argument. There was a big argument between Aaliyah's entourage and the pilot. Okay. Now, here's the thing. When they were ready to depart, it was known there was way over too many pounds. It was like 700 pounds too much. When he went to even start, one of the engines had problems starting. Now, I don't know about you, but that would have been my red flag right there. That would have been my red flag right there, okay? They were ready to go home, and there was a big argument that ensued with her entourage and the pilot because he did not want to go. So it sounds like he was trying to do the right thing, but they were insisting they were ready to go. Now, again, there was only the little group, so there's a lot of eyewitnesses as to what happened. There were people who saw it from a distance as the plane started taking off. Literally, they started taking off from about 200 feet away from the runway. After flying off is when they started going down. There was just too much weight on it. That's why I say don't pay attention to those conspiracy theories. The fact that there's so much proof that there was too much weight for this little plane. This is a Cessna 402. These are little planes. They make these type of planes to be a little more affordable for the person who wants to buy a plane, charter a plane. So it's not one of these big type of airlines, right? So it was not equipped to carry all of this stuff. But at the same time, you gotta say Luis Morales III, I want to make sure we got that clear as to that's his name. Why? Why didn't he just do it all right? You know, poor thing, she was taken away way too early, and he should have stood his ground. Because who knows more than the pilot? Who knows more than the pilot? So he should have stayed his ground, and that's one of the biggest mistakes he made. So he receives his pilot license in February of 2000, and he had just been hired by the company Blackhawk, as mentioned earlier, just 2 days earlier. Okay, so again, whatever documents he used helped him get away with this stuff. And so he didn't even have all the right pilot certificates needed. Okay, and it's even said that he falsified hours. He didn't even get all the hours needed for this. So he was definitely being irresponsible as the pilot, and he's definitely responsible for these 9 lives that he cost. 8 plus his own. So he cost all 9 of them, which it could have been avoided had he done the right thing and said, no, we cannot take off. We have too many passengers. We have too many bags. Either wait till tomorrow or cut some of this stuff off. Okay? Had he gotten rid of some of that 700 pounds, or at least all 700 pounds that were over, might have been a better deal there. Okay? But unfortunately, he did not do the right thing. Not doing the right thing, this leads to the plane accident. And it's a horrific thing. 22 years old, she's on her way up, and this happens in her life. It's a sad, sad story. Rest in peace, Aaliyah. Rest in peace, all the passengers. My friends, I'm sharing this to say, forget those conspiracy theories. These are the facts as we know it. The investigation concluded that it was just too much weight and too many passengers on this plane. So if you're wondering what happened to Aaliyah, yes, it could have been prevented, but no, there's no conspiracy theories behind these things to back any of this up. And that's what conspiracy theories are, right? They don't really have much to back it up. Okay, these are more just like opinions that people really stick hard to. And so, rest in peace to all of you up there. I hope you got a little more of the facts now, my friends. So that's the investigation into the accident, and that's what it has concluded. Hey, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to keep uploading stuff that has to do with crime, true crime. And my goal is to help you stay on top and stay educated on things. And this one's more about, let's get the facts around around the accident that happened that caused Aaliyah's death. But let's not get caught up in those conspiracy theories, my friend. I'm Manny Rodriguez, and the whole focus is to help you get deep in true crime so you can have a better understanding as to what has happened. Aaliyah, rest in peace. Passengers on the plane, rest in peace. And keep listening to her music. As you know, you can find a bunch of it on YouTube. I hope you got a clearer understanding as to what happened to Aaliyah. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Make sure you smash that subscribe button.